Breachers, a game where you will question if the other player is hacking or if you are simply too slow. We've all been there, stuck in a comp match, getting demolished. I'm here to tell you a couple things that could potentially be new to you.
I told her, you got jokes, girl, that's not my problem at all. You should know, I don't care if you want to act just like a hoe, but for me, you know my answer is no.
Most of these tips won't magically make you hit every shot, although that would be sick, right? What they will do is help you think about fights differently and use knowledge to gain advantage. The timestamps for each section will be on screen for a couple seconds in case you wish to skip to certain parts. Disclaimer, I am not a professional player and the things I will go over might not help you if you're a pro BRML player or champion even. I went from Gold 1 to Plat 1 somehow, and these are things that are helping me improve slowly. Peeking seems like a simple thing, right? Simply walk past a corner, look for enemies, and shoot. If only it was that simple. Have you ever been killed by an enemy you never saw? There's two main reasons for this. You are holding a common peek/angle and the enemy pre-fired it, or the enemy quick peeked, saw your position, and pre-fired before fully exposing himself to you. In the case you are unfamiliar with quick peeking in general, it is the act of peeking past a corner/wall to look at what's behind it and quickly going back into cover, mainly known and heavily used in Rainbow Six. Quick peeking is a simple thing to do, whether you use snap turn or smooth rotation. Now that you know about quick peeking to some degree, the next important thing about peeking is slicing the pie. Slicing the pie sounds a bit weird. I know it makes me hungry, but that's aside the point. Slicing the pie is the act of clearing the room bit by bit, exposing yourself to the least amount of angles possible. Peeker's advantage. Have you ever been killed by someone before you can even see them, and yet they appear fully exposed on death recap? That would be Peeker's advantage. The specific thing takes advantage of latency. Simply said, when you peek at an angle, it takes a couple milliseconds for the other player to see it, and by it means you. You should also know about how the distance from the wall you peek at affects your peeks. Peeking from wall. When peeking at an angle, hugging the corner makes part of your body visible to the enemies before you can even see a pixel of them. Backing up from the corner gives you a better view of the angle and can prevent you from exposing yourself when not needed. If you move, they can't see you, then right here. From this line of sight, they can see your shoulder and they can start pre-firing you. Okay? But now, let's say you go back here. And from here, their line of sight, they can see about this wall and over here. And maybe right here. And you, yellow. And you can see their shoulder and opposite the wall. So you can start pre-firing when you move to the right and kill them before they can even see you correctly. Distance from enemy. Have you ever noticed that enemies far away are harder to hit than a mosquito? That is because, relative to their size, small movements have a much bigger impact at long range. A player moving left to right at a distance will require more precise adjustments of your aim since they are a smaller target, while enemies that are at close range appear much larger, making them easier to see and generally easier to hit. Still hard if they jump scare you. Trust me, this game is a horror game at times. Oh my god, this This is why aiming down sight becomes important in long range fights, which is also why you see experienced players hip fire a lot in close range, but almost always aim down sight when the fights are long range. In long range fights, missing by an inch could be the difference between clutching the round or going back to the lobby, while close range fights are more forgiving on aiming mistakes. Pre-aiming. If you can master the art of pre-aiming, you will be a beast. Sort of, you know. What is pre-aiming? Pre-aiming is when you position your gun where an enemy could be, before you expose yourself to that angle. Most of the time, it means aiming through a wall where you think the enemy might be. It is related to slicing the pie in some sense. Pre-aiming does require some knowledge of the map and common enemy locations, which is recommended, but that comes with repetition, death after painful death. When peeking, don't just swing and pray you see someone in time to shoot them. Try your best to have your gun where they might be. The less you need to adjust after peeking, the faster you'll be able to shoot accurately. Weapon position. This one might sound weird, because any position you have your gun in might be good for you, and it's all preference, but the most important thing is that it is always in a position in which you can raise your arms quick enough to aim in case of any surprises. Or in general, always aiming when checking dangerous areas, which includes slicing the pie as well. Nothing much to say about this, other than don't always have it below your hips unless you're 100% sure there is no enemies near you. Aiming every fight. Should you aim for every fight? No. Will your aim suck if you don't aim? Maybe. It's all about the scenario. If it's a long range gunfight, definitely aim. Else, if it's a short gunfight, shoot without aiming. That includes above your head, one-handed, side shooting, hip firing, and etc. Anything else you can think of. This might be weird since isn't aiming the most important thing about this game? Well, apart from map knowledge and good angles, it is, yes. But the reason I mention this is because you won't always have time to aim down sight. And if you do have the time, you will most then likely end up dead by the time you're aiming at the enemy with your sight. You can practice shooting without aiming in two places, one of them being the gun range, which is weird but sort of works, and against bots. For extra points, do not equip a sight on your weapon when you do. Understanding your reticle. This one sounds weird because in most FPS games, it's obvious that your reticle is where your bullets actually go to, no? That is true, but not in breachers. In breachers, where your reticle is aiming at, it's not where your bullets actually go. Your bullets shoot a bit below your reticle, to be more exact. If you enable the laser on your gun, if you buy it and equip it, that is where it actually shoots. Crosshair placement. A lot of players accidentally aim at chest level because it feels natural, which means you're missing easy headshots. If you usually are unable to hit headshots and keep finding yourself aiming at their neck or a bit below, raise your aim higher than you usually would, and adjust accordingly. Apart from this, if you're holding an angle and have a teammate nearby, aim near them to get an idea of where the enemy's head might be at. Talking about bots, Control Point is one of my favorite modes to warm up or practice my aim in. Some other people might tell you to head over the gun range, which is good, but it won't help you practice on real moving targets. And 50-50 fights. You'll improve so much more by taking 50 fights rather than 10 in an hour. The fastest way to improve aim isn't by winning matches or getting the most kills, it's by taking as many gunfights as possible. If you don't want to fight real players, you can do Control Point against hard bots. You versus 5 bots. While the bots aren't realistic, they are still useful. They're great for building reaction speed, target transition, and room clearing habits. You might die a lot at first if you're not used to exposing yourself to one enemy at a time or switching targets quickly, but keep in mind that the goal is to build consistency, not high score. Fast aiming. Ever wondered how someone can raise their gun and kill you like it's another Tuesday night? It's probably their arm/hand position. There are generally two ways people bring their guns up quickly.
Or whatever. Or there's two ways. There's one where you go with both hands together like this, and then you go like this to aim, and then there's where you have your arms like this, go like this. For example, the one that goes like this would be like this. Now, the one that goes like this would be like this.
Recoil Recovery. Many players accidentally start their second spray while their gun is still recovering from the first one, meaning you end up missing the shots that would have normally hit the enemy on the head. The most efficient way to practice recoil recovery is to head to the gun range, where you can practice recoil patterns as well, which is really important to know as well, and just shoot at the wall with a burst or spray, then flick to a side and immediately shoot again, attempting to control it to keep shooting in the same invisible line. Or learning when the recoil resets so you can shoot again. Review depth. If you have the honors of playing on Quest and having a PC available, I recommend hopping on your PC on Spectator and recording your match as you play. Otherwise, headset recording works too. What you're gonna want to look for is the times you've killed people and the times you die. After each death, ask yourself, why did I die? How did I die? In the case of any grenades of that sort, what could I have done to avoid this? And was there a better choice with the time I had? You can always ask yourself more questions if you have any in mind, but those are the 4 general questions you might want to ask yourself. But not only depth should you record and recap, you should also review your kills. How did I win this fight? Was there a better approach to this fight? And did I have the advantage, or was it a 50-50 fight? Take notes of your answers and try to keep them in mind for the next time you are in the same or similar situation. Now, let's do a small quiz now that we're at the end of the video. I'm going to summarize everything we went through, alongside small clips in which you will have to mention what went wrong. This is pretty much just a trivia, a quiz, used to test your knowledge. Ready?
Artlist.io